Height Live. Good morning, good morning. Did you hear that? Just as I turned the microphone on just a moment ago, quack, quack, quack. We got our crow noise. Oh, look at this, just in time. Here they come. No. Again, just one. They must be at an age where they're fighting all the time. I don't know. We shouldn't interfere too much. Good morning, good morning. Okay, let's get this. As you can see, beautiful, beautiful day again in Tokyo today. Every day, beautiful sunshine. I can't remember the last time we had a rainy day. Okay, a few things today. Today's stream is going to be a real mixed bag. We've got a bunch of small jobs that need to be caught up. So instead of one long job today all through the stream, there's going to be 3, maybe 4 small things to do, depending on how much I get through them. I don't know. Did we see just one of them, or is the second one going to come along in a minute? I don't know. No idea. Okay, anyway, so the first job I've got today is this. This is supposed to be top secret, so keep your eyes closed, please. This is a test print of a test version of the print for March. Now, this isn't the final version. I asked them to print it for me with no background color today. And what we need to do is a bunch of the lines need to be tightened up. So I'm going to be taking the blocks here today and tightening up a bunch of the carving. That's not going to take the whole stream. That's only going to take maybe 10-15 minutes. And once that's done, we'll move on to something else. We have something also that I think you've never seen before on this stream. Have you ever seen this? A bunch of these like this? We'll talk about it in half an hour when we get there. Anyway, let's do some block fixing first. And yeah, why am I wearing a mask? The deal. Why am I wearing a mask? Because there's somebody else in the room here. So I don't know how much we're supposed to talk about it and how much we're not supposed to talk about it, but I'm not alone. There is a young lady here in the room. She's pointing a big black camera at me right now. Actually, can you come and say hello? She's going to come say hello. Look. Come on in here. A bit more. You can't see. A bit more. There you go. Hi. This is, I get confused. I got her name confused. I keep thinking it's Asakusa-san. It's not. It's Akasaka-san. She's from an NHK program. なんていう番組? 忘れちゃった。
Wikipedia って言います。Wikipedia.
The program name is. Well, you can tell them what's going on in the show. Can you explain in English?
No.
She can probably speak English really well, but suddenly in public, that's not a polite thing to ask. Yeah, Workpedia. Workpedia. And I think it's a small program inside a different program. So, what's the main program called? Main bangumi wa.
When we call home. When we call home.
When We Call Home. It's a program about foreigners living in Japan. And I'm not the theme. The theme is somebody else of this particular program. But at the end of each program, there's a little corner, Workpedia, and they show 5 or 6 minutes or something, 7 minutes?
6 minutes.
6 minutes of somebody else. So she's here today to take this 6 minutes. And part of it's going to be the stream, part of it is going to be upstairs or carving or printing, all kinds of stuff today. And when it'll be February でしょもう1ヶ月後ぐらいでしょ
そうです。
そう
はい。今ちょっとコロナで撮影がいろいろあるので。
So we'll let you know whatever. But don't expect, this is not a 1-hour documentary. This is going to be just seconds. 何秒でしょ Seconds inside. So. But that's why the mask. That's why the mask is here. So. Anyway, this is Akasaka-san. Okay, let's get some work done. I need a cameraman. We should ask her to help today, you know. In fact, that's a good idea. When we get to show and tell today, the object for today's show and tell is too big for me to handle by myself. So let's ask her to help with the camera. Professional job. 大丈夫でしょ You can do that.
蹴られることは。
はい。She says, if I can help, maybe she'll be willing to do this. So. Here we are. This is the sample version. These are the prints from March. We printed a version like this with no color. We tried a version like this with a brown background. And we tried another version with a lilac background. And these are all tests. You can see, look at this. We're still trying different color tones. She's got a sample upstairs with 6 different colors. We decided to can that idea. So anyway, as I said, some of the lines here, this grass, for example, we've got to fix it up. So that's my job now. And I think I need the scope here. This is a small job. And I can't do the scope with the mask, so I've got to cut it off here to show. Let's get the bed. Agasaka-san was asking me earlier what kind of people watch these streams. So one thing we should do this morning, so I can let her know, is can we have a country roll call here? What part of the world are you people watching from? She wanted very much to know about this and to hear about this. So please let us know. Everybody, here we go. Agasaka-san. Canada, South Africa, Germany, Sweden, US. It's going too fast. Canada, Portugal, USA, Italy, England, Finland, Denmark, Poland, Italy. It's going too fast. Yorkshire. Hey, I know that. Australia, Netherlands, USA, Poland, Canada, USA, Iceland, Netherlands, Canada, USA, France, Germany, Italy, Canada, Finland. Again, too many Finlands. It's the same guy typing again to show. Dorset, England, Czech Republic, Scotland, Canada, Sydney, Australia, Italy. They're all over the place. Of course, okay, enough. Thank you. Enough. They're all over the place. And of course, it's 8 o'clock in the morning here now in Japan. So people over in the USA, it's evening for them. It's a nice, comfortable time to watch this. People who are in Europe, it's a bit different. They would want me to do this stream earlier because they're going to bed now. And the people who are here in Europe, they're staying up late. Something it might be midnight, or it might even be 1 o'clock in the morning for some of the people in Europe. So what they would like to do is sometimes do this at a different time of day so that they can be more relaxed about this, you know. But the reason we do it at this time of day is because simply this is the only time when both sides are awake. America is up and awake, and Europe is sort of up and awake. There's no other time I can do this which hits as many people as this time. And it might be a bit better, instead of an 8 o'clock start, if I had a 7 o'clock start, the Europeans would be very, very happy. But for me to start at 7 o'clock in the morning every day, I'm resisting this a little bit. So. Also, we've got the time zone thing. Japan doesn't use time zone changes, but other countries do. So for the Europeans, at some part of the year, it's very late, and at some part of the year, it's much earlier. So they have to switch different times. Also, there's a reason I'm chatting with this lady. She's got the camera running on me now. I'm speaking to her in English because this coming up program is actually going to be in English. This is going to be on NHK World, and it'll be in English. So during today, when she is interviewing me and talking to the people upstairs, we are all going to be speaking English. So she maybe use 1 second or so of that. Okay, anyway, I have got to get some work done also to show. That's better. Broadcast, I don't know. We'll talk about it later. It'll be a month away or something at least, so don't sweat it. Now we've got a problem here. In order to get the light for the block to see, my fingers are going to be overexposed. We can't have both, so just let's just try this for a while and see what happens. The grass is here. No, overexposed. Let's leave it on automatic. It should change back and forth maybe. Yeah, it'll do that. Good. Okay, let's try that. Sometimes, I know, Akazaka-san, when we're doing this, we get so involved with conversation and the people ask questions and I answer and we're having conversation that we sort of forget to work now and then. So it's case by case. Sometimes I get lots of work done. Sometimes it's just just a visit with Dave and a chat stream, It doesn't much matter. The other problem with this, I say problem, I'm laughing as I say this, the other situation with this course is when I'm working like this, I've got my eyes on the job, I can't see the conversation. So they are talking away, sometimes they're talking to themselves, but every few minutes I have to keep remembering to get back and check and see what's going on. So, and I have to try and catch up. But most of the questions, if people are asking me, the questions are gone because it's scrolled up. So there's a situation that happens quite often. Somebody will ask a question, I will miss it. They will see me turn back, they'll ask again, but I will miss it. But sometimes it's frustrating for people. They will ask the same question 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and I don't catch it. Can't be helped, it's okay. The other very interesting thing with this stream is we have a bunch of regular viewers, and those people have heard the questions and heard the answers many times. So when a new person comes along and asks a question, the older members, older, I don't mean older age, I mean the members who've been here a long time, they will answer for it. So there's a whole question answer going on, and there's 3 or 4 people who are regular, assistants and helpers, and they ask that they will help answer the questions all the time. So there's a real community there. It's really a fun thing for me. Sometimes foreigners in Japan, maybe some of the people you interview for your program, they're foreigners in Japan. Maybe they miss their friends back home, or maybe they feel a bit isolated because they don't speak Japanese well or something like this. They may be foreigners like this. I'm okay living here, but this also too for me gives me there's a touch and a thread and a chance to see and chat with people from all over the world. This is really, really fun for me, it's fun for me. I'm not isolated here in Tokyo, but having this window to the world, it's not just for their benefit, it's my benefit too, Absolutely. Just last week, one of our assistants here, one of the ladies working for us, or who's going to be working for us, she came as a guest here, and she sat on the stool, and she ran the chat and talked to the chat, and I just sat here and did my work. And I missed it. I was a bit unhappy because I missed the chance to see this communication, It's all in focus. I can't tell what you're saying because that block is so bright. You can see what we're doing here. The grass in this below the boat here. There's all the grass below here. Some of them are too thick and they're a bit too ugly, and some of them there's places where there's pigment is sticking inside them. So I'm just neatening up and cleaning up some of this grass here. Then I'll move on to a few different places. Some of these boats are a bit too thick. So it's not really interesting work this morning, but I've got to get this done. So they're trying to ask, as soon as I look this way, maybe they will try and ask a question or something. So So we've got a fixing day here today. It's not fixing, that's not the right word to use. This block was carved a few weeks ago by our young carver Kawasaki-san. We've done test proofing from it, and we now need to clean up some of the lines here a little bit. But because she lives in Kobe, and it's a bit difficult to communicate with her, you know, by telephone to explain what I want to do, it's far easier for me just to get in here today and do this by myself. So for the next few minutes, that's what we're going to see here. I've got the key block here, and a couple of the color blocks too. I have to make some small adjustments. So for the first third of the stream, up from about another 5 minutes or so, we'll be doing this fixing. Oh, for sure this. I've got to fix these clouds. Let's have a look at that. Lei-chan, the printer, she asked me specifically, she said, Dave, fix the clouds. Here they are. And this is not, some of the questions are just shapes. They're just a little bit funny. These three clouds, 1, 2, 3, should not end at the same place. When I sketched them out, I was a little bit careless. Someone's asking, any news from the ninjas? I don't remember what we brought you up on. They have changed their business model, and the last couple of days, this weekend, they have been running a bar. They ran a bar downstairs. I haven't seen any news about upstairs. I haven't seen any customers coming down the strings yet, but they were really, really, really busy over the weekends. Any number of times we're here working and we hear the shouting outside, the bad guy is coming and he's attacking the kids. They seem to do really gangbuster business over the weekend. I know nothing about the bar. I don't go inside, so I don't know if people are drinking or what's going on, but they were busy. And now from Monday, it's going to be Death Valley. Part of the thing, yesterday afternoon, the guy was standing up there. He's got his little string, so it's safe, but he stands on the, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. If I pull up the picture just a little bit more. On the ninja building there, you can see some flags, a checkered flag, a red flag, and a purple flag at the right. There's a little white bar outside a little white thing hanging outside the block. He was standing up there, touting their business. So all the time the people are walking by on the street downstairs, he's standing up on that thing saying, let's go do the shuriken, taiken, come and have the ninja experience. And people are just ignoring him. This is a saksa. People just walk down the street and there's a guy upstairs on the roof just shouting. They don't care. So anyway, let's get some work done. About a half a year ago, a new business opened across the street. It's a ninja experience. And we're sort of, okay. The problem is there's no foreigners in Asakusa these days. So when there are many foreigners, such a business sounds really quite interesting. But recently there's no foreigners here. So they're, I don't know, they're trying to get their business going, but there's nobody around. So it's become, the people on the stream are asking, what's the news with the ninja people? And because they keep trying different things for their business, And the recent one they're doing is they've got a string on their building and they climb up on the roof and they climb down, and the guy, he's got his little black ninja outfit, he's hanging on this string, and at the top it's bouncing like this, and so we're all waiting, me and 700 people, we're waiting for this guy to crash onto the sidewalk, and he's crazy, absolutely crazy. Oh, look at this. Do you see this? Look. Can I zoom in on this? Look. Do you see what's happened here? Can I get any closer? You can see it, right? Look. It's a repair job, and I hadn't even noticed it. Where are we? Which print is this? It's this print. There it is, right there. It's this area right here, on the dark. This area here. There's a repair job. And it's invisible, invisible, invisible for a couple of reasons. One is the repair is on the light blue block. And the light blue block here, it does the sky. You can see the sky lines. And it does the sea. And it also goes behind the dark blue. So the part that she's repaired is behind this dark blue. And there's no way anybody in the world is ever going to see this. She's actually left it a bit too high. This is Kawasaki-san. This is just part of our business. It happens, you know. Stuff like this happens. When she did it, she will have put a plug in and she will have carved it flat. But now that we've been printing, it's absorbed water and swelled up a bit. We do this all the time. Repairs are not a tragedy. She's not being embarrassed because I have caught this. We repair blocks all the time. I didn't look carefully at every bit of this one. There may be a pop or a click here in the key block as well. I don't know. We do this all the time. For me now, with lots and lots of experience, it doesn't happen too often because I'm at the point now where I can feel the break happening before it breaks. When I was younger, you go along with your knife and bang, it breaks. But now I can feel when it's about to break, most times. I think there's another one there. There is. There's another one there. See it? There we are. There's a little insert there. She's popped that one in, and she's done a really invisible repair there. Because if she had left it visible there, it would show on the key lines. There's another one there. It's just part of our job. If you're trying this, if you're having a hobby, if you're learning it, whatever, don't panic because something splits. It's a piece of wood, you can easily fix it. Yes, the last question. Have I done a repair job to remove a blemish from the wood? Yes. Mostly we don't choose bad wood. We wouldn't choose a piece of wood that has a dot in it or something. But yes, we've done the same thing. Partway through printing, there might be a case where there's a hard spot in the wood and we've got to cut it out, put a shim in. So yes, that does happen. the same grass problem. We had the grass on the key block. We've also got the grass on the color block. And Adechan, who did this test printing, she asked me to open up the grass on the color block more as well. I'm going to cut down deeper in here. I'll do that this way, I guess, here. This lady's still shooting here. She's going to have 90 minutes of footage, and she's going to use about 10 seconds of it in the final program. So, so I'm from Toronto. So I used to live in Downsview back in a million years ago. I had an apartment on Wilson Avenue in Downsview back when I was a little kid. Toronto was good fun. So.
何時なんですかね。
Go ahead.
現地は何時なんですかね。トロントですよね。
Toronto, that's Canada. That's okay. That's about 6:30 in the afternoon. It's okay. Evening, maybe dinner time. I don't know. So the North American people are fine. It's the European people that it's late, you know. And during the course of the chat, many times we'll see somebody in Europe, Germany, whatever. Okay, guys, I got to go to bed. Good night, you know. Or I got an exam tomorrow at school, or I've got to work tomorrow, you know. So people chat and they'll say goodbye. They'll come in and come out, you know. How many people? I don't have a readout of this at the OBS site. How many people are watching at the moment? Can we tell this lady? Can somebody give me a figure? Well, Netherlands, it's 0時30分オランダ。今545人が見てる。English. There's at the moment they say there's 545 people watching. By Twitch standards, this is a tiny stream, you know. On the Twitch platform, there are people who stream games with like 10,000 or something, 20,000 people watching. We don't want that kind of stream. Absolutely. I don't want that. I mean, you can't talk to people. You can't communicate. We have just a right-sized group here where, you know, there's lots of people here who just watch without saying anything, of course. If everybody was talking all the time, it would be impossible. So it's a perfect balance, So the other thing we are that I was surprised about with the stream like this is that during the week and on weekends, it's quite different. The weekday streams and a weekend stream are different. I originally thought that weekdays people are busy, on weekends they're free, people would be watching more on the weekends. No, it's the other way round. On weekends it goes down, and weekdays it goes up. And I asked about this one time, and people answered, Dave, I'm at work. So some of these people, they're at work, they're on their work computer, and the Twitch stream or whatever is in one corner of it. Here in Japan, I don't think you're sort of going to get away. So she's shaking her head at me. No, 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 no. So,
無理です。あ、そういう見方なんですね。
Whatever. For me, this is just perfect. I'm just saying, freeze this as it is and don't change, because I'm really happy the way things are, you know. So, and the comments are so nice. Even just now, I'm talking about this, and the comments are, this is one of the nicest Twitch streams, I guess. I think Twitch sometimes I don't know, I'm not part of the culture. It might be violent. It's violent games, and people are aggressive. Whereas here, it's just a quiet, nothing happens. It's just a quiet place to sort of relax for a while, yeah. And there are a few people here, not so many, they really want to learn how to do woodblock printmaking. So for them, this is a technical, you know, I'm like a sensei or something. They're watching what to do. All of those 500 people know, but out of there, a number of them do want to do this, you know. If this had existed 40 years ago when I still lived in Canada, oh my God, I would have died to see this. I would have killed to be able to see something like this, you know. Talking too much, not working enough. Sorry. There's also something else here, you know. We have a few sort of special guests on the stream now and then. You know, my mother comes in. My mother lives in Canada. And is she here this morning? I don't know. Let's have a look. And she frequently watches the stream. It's in the afternoon for her. Yeah, she's here today. So there can't be too many Twitch streamers, and their mother is watching. It's good. And sometimes she, you know, if I say something not so nice to somebody, or if I know, my mother will come in here and say, you know, be nice or whatever. So and the streamers know who she is, and when my mother makes a comment or something, it's all hi, good morning, and stuff like this. And for her too, it's a strange. It really is a strange situation. You know, I'm 70. I don't want to talk about my mother's age, but I'm 70, and my mother's over there in her room in Canada. And she gets out, she has friends, she has a social life, but she also has a social life. People all over the world are saying, you know, good morning, Bet, how are you doing, and stuff like this, you know. And for her, this is another touch, you know. So this internet thing that we are building, you know, my God, it's incredible, absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. We had one, do you remember, what was it, a year or so ago, my daughter visited my mother's place, and they called by Skype, and we patched it into the Twitch stream here. So we had, on a Twitch stream, we had Dave here, his mother, my daughter, and her son, my grandson. So we had 4 generations patched into one single Twitch stream, you know. Like, that's got to be a world's first and world's only, so, you know. So, you remember that? So, my new computer won't let me do that. It steals the audio and it won't come in. So I don't even remember how I did it. So my mother is here. So don't talk about her age. It's okay. Leave it. No. No, somebody says, you got it backwards. Somebody here says, what do you say? Bet you raised an incredible son. No, you got it backwards. I chose good parents. That's how it works. So, so it's good fun, you know. There's the pandemic, you know. I used to go and see my family. You know, my mother's over there, my kids, my grandchildren live in Canada, and up until 2 years ago, we sort of had family get-togethers. Every February, usually, I came from Japan. My brother, when he could, came from Germany. We had a family get-together once a year in February. And now that's, you know, that's not possible. So the fact that there's this communication is really, really helpful. You know. Really helpful. It doesn't replace being together, but my mother sees what I'm doing. I call her by Skype, you know, whatever. Okay. Okay, what I should do, I could sit here and fool with this all day, but I really want to get a view of the other work. I know the lady here, she wants a bit of a mix of different scenes here in this stream. So actually, I do have more fixing to do on these blocks, but we're 8:30 or something now. So just to keep a bit of a variety stream going here, let me put this aside for a moment. Also, too, I've got to come back to it when it's a bit more chance to be a bit more, what's the word, to concentrate a bit more on what I'm doing. So let's put this aside for a minute. And let's move on to that other job. And this is a bit different. This is something you haven't seen before, I think. We don't need that light. We need this. Actually, this is a job that I do. It suddenly came up over the weekend. It's a job that I need to get done. And I thought the preparation was all done, and it's not. We're sending a FedEx box out this afternoon to the US full of subscription prints. And Jed sent me an order. Once he heard the FedEx box was going, Jed sent me an order for prints. And I have to quickly prep this morning a batch of Ukiyo Heroes prints. You know the deal about the Ukiyo Heroes? We don't sell them ourselves. I'm the factory where these are made, and Jed sells them from his website. So when he gets low, and I guess he's low now after the Christmas rush, so he has sent me a big order to catch up with his inventory of Ukiyo Heroes prints. And I've got to get this off this afternoon. And I think there's about 200 of them here, whatever. But my job, what I've got to, when we get them back from the printer, this is a batch back from Ayumi-san. But the printers, you know, they just dump them on me. And I'm being a bit, I don't know, careless, I guess. The final prep comes to me. There it is. This is mine. This is Hori Buru Suri Ohashi Ayumi. Can you see the embossing there? So, this is our joke with our prints. Do you see this, Sano Akasaka-san? We mark this with the carver and printer, but it's in Japanese. So the carver comes out as Horiburu. Every one of our prints gets embossed with the word horrible. So I don't know whatever. So it is the joke. It's the standing joke here. I'm a Canadian citizen and a British citizen. I'm not Japanese nationality. I have residence here. But if I ask the Japanese government to let me become a citizen, they will basically say yes, because I've been here long enough now. But one demand is I need to take a Japanese name. I have to choose Japanese kanji for a Japanese name. And the big joke, what should I do? I should become Hori for a carver and Buru, keep my old name. So I would become Mr. Horrible. But at the moment I haven't taken that step. I'm not a Japanese citizen. So there's really no advantage. I could work for the police department, don't have any plans for that. I could become prime minister, don't have any plans for that. I could vote if I become a citizen. What's the big deal there? I don't know. Prime Minister horrible. Yeah, that would be one for the books. My God, that would be one for the books. Horiburu Sori Daiji. I wouldn't want that job. My God, I wouldn't want that job. Okay, what we got here, Jed put in an order for a bunch of different stuff. So you're going to see now, I think there's 20 different prints here. So hang on, you're going to see 20 different prints pass under the chopper here. And these now go back. This goes back 10 years. I can name the new era. The Prime Minister doesn't get to name the new era. The Cabinet Secretary does that. So, well, actually, it's a consultation of older Japanese names. There's a group. It's not chosen by a single person. I will cut the top as well, yes, just one thing at a time, one thing at a time. And I have got to get this out of here. Here we go. There's the first group. The next group looks like they're already cut to size. This one, I didn't carve this one. This one is, we know who the character is. This one is carved by Kawasaki-san, the same girl who carved the fans you just saw. And this printer is Yamamoto Shun. And Jed has signed this. So I don't need to cut that one. Next group, oh, we have another one, doesn't need cutting. Right. This one is me. Again, we have Horiburu, and this is Kawai Chiharu, our young lady printer in Nagano. She is a freaking machine. She just prints and prints and prints. I sized paper for her last night. Her next job is going to be another batch of waves. The next, oh, this is the print from the documentary. Remember on the old documentary, the movie that they made about us. This is also Horiburu. This is Suri Yamamoto Shun. This is a nice one. This was crazy. I carved this whole damn thing in about 1 week. It was day and night and day and night. The guy was here from America to make the documentary, and he only had like 10 days, start to finish. And I had to start carving the key block, and he wanted to see sample prints, and it was all in 10 days. I haven't worked that hard or that long since I was a little kid. Okay, next batch needs trimming. Who's got the game? Castlevania it is. Bonus points, the name of the character. Oh, different printer here. You're going to get a tour of all of our printers here. This one again, it's Horibu, carved by David. And the printer here is Suri Kawai Atsushi. The young man who is working for us here came to us from another workshop a few years ago. This is Kawai Atsushi. Simon Belmont, yes, so they tell me, like I know. I don't know anything about these. Did I miss chopping the last one? Did I slice the new subscriptions like this too? Yes, I did. I know that's actually, we're going to be seeing that in a stream, coming to a stream near you. John's interrupted here. Tom's interrupted here. the new subscriptions are also getting cut on this board. That's what these tape layouts are for. We talked about this before. We thought about building a massive jig, cutting them 20 at a time or something. But after I did the first group, I realized that the problem with the subscriptions is I have to check every print anyway. So what Dave is doing, I did all the subscriptions. I just cut them here. I cut them this way, and then one by one, I cut here. And that gives me a chance to do the chitty check, which I have to do anyway. Yeah, Tom, not John, sorry. This is in blue. A bunch of the names here are in dark blue, and I cannot see these names that are in dark blue. How's our time? We're okay. Good. For show and tell today at 9:15, we have a massive show and tell. It's a big box of prints. We will never get through them all, but it doesn't matter. We'll have a chance to see the object and what it is. Next one. This is apropos. In fact, there's been a whole bunch of orders. In fact, this is the reason that Jed called me this week. He got a ton of orders for this print for some reason, which we all know, and it's out of stock on his website. So while he was doing this, he checked the other prints. So here we go. And another printer. You're going to see our whole crew today. This is Hori Boru again, and this is Suri Tsushima. Tsushima-san. She's the first of our hired printers in Mokuhankan. She's been working for us now for over 10 years. She came in 2011. She was the first printer who worked for us, an outside printer. And she's still at it. She's not the machine type printer that some of the younger ones are. But she's steady and stable, and she works over in the Ome workshop. She doesn't come to here in Asakusa. She does all of our Chibi Heroes printing. She prints this one. She prints the Yokai face-off prints. I didn't think of that. We're going to meet all of our printers today here. So, this is important. Jed's website, I'm really frustrated by this. Jed's website doesn't have a standby thing. It's either available in stock or he takes the page down. It's really frustrating for me. So these things they're available. They're here right now, but Jed's website doesn't have them available. So if you want one of these prints, shopping time, if you want one of these prints, check Jed's website like next week. It's ukiyo-heroes.com. Okay, action. Here we go. Here's the delivery man, and we have lots of stuff due today here, I think. I have been buying like crazy. あ、どうも。はい、ありがとうございます。どうも。いいですか？そのままで。はい。どうもいつもありがとうございます。Thank you. I've been buying like crazy, both from the Open Yahoo auctions, from the dealer auctions, and from various sources we have available to us. When Watanabe-san gets here this morning, she won't be able to get into her room. I've stacked up so many incoming boxes in front of her room, she can't get to it. We're preparing for the flea market Matsuri somewhere in February, maybe February 15th or February 20th. We're doing another mailing. Yeah, various sources. Of course I'm not going to talk about this. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I have enough trouble fighting with you guys on Yahoo Auctions, let alone telling you about the other sources we've got. It's so cute. Okay, the next one doesn't need trimming. You know what this one is? Do we have another different printer? Let's have a look. Who's the printer on this one? Again, it's Horiboru. I've carved most of these heroes. And this is Suga-san. Suga Natsuki. You know Suga-san. She's upstairs. We see her all the time. Tell you, these heroes, they're wonderful, wonderful. They're training for our printers and they work for our printers. It's just never-ending work that goes on and on and on and on. So that doesn't need trimming. The lady in the background, so she just got a handicap. The plan originally for an NHK was there was going to be a cameraman, a sound man, a producer, a director, a lunch truck, whatever. I don't have any idea. There was going to be a bunch of people here. But this last couple of weeks, the government has asked different companies not to be so public. So the NHK executives told her, no crew, just go by yourself and do this with a camera. So she's probably not so happy. Normally she would just be standing here directing other people and they would be a professional cameraman. I don't know. Okay, this one needs trimming. We have yet another printer. Look at this. We're really getting a tour. I can't believe this. It's working out so well. Here's another printer. Again, we have Horiboru, carved by David. This one is Suri Kubota Kenichi. This is Kubota-san, our real and one and only master printer. He's older than me. He's not my employee. He left another workshop years ago, but he really still wants to work. And now he's working full time. I can't believe the amount the guy works. He's working totally full time in his own house. And he's just doing work for us. I send one, a couple of days later, he's on the phone, I need another one. I'm like, okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. And you know the game. You know the game. This is so nice. This is Jed's first excursion into the Shinhanga genre. We were doing, most of our prints were ukiyo-e style in this one, but we started moving into a more in-depth. This is so good. I'm so happy we published this. This is glorious. This is going to live forever. Jed is famous for this. He is going to be, his name will live forever. How's our time? Keep an eye on the time. We're okay. Gotta get them upside down, gotta be careful. Ten minutes of show and tell. Yep, okay, hang on, no problem. If I can get through this pile here, it'll really be helpful to me, because the minute the stream goes off here, I've got to wrap these up, and it's FedEx day today. I've got to get the FedEx box finished and weighed and get them called. This FedEx box that's leaving today is late. I really have to admit this. I'm sorry. Part of the reason it's late is because our subscription prints this month, the new subscription prints don't go in the FedEx box. They go direct by airmail letters to the customers. So we've had a lesser amount of packages that need to go to the US. And this box should have gone, honestly speaking, this box should have gone last week. Next group. Oh, they're already trimmed. Next group is trimmed, but what do we have for a printer? It's the same guy. This is also Kubota-san. And I didn't carve this one either. This is another carver now. This is a fourth carver. This is Nagao-san. She's only really done one or two jobs for us over the years. This is Nagao-san. She's the nephew of the lady who owns our building. Suzuki-san, the lady who owns our building, their family has a history of woodblock printmaking. This is why we're here, of course. So anyway, this is Nagao-san, Yumi Nagao, and the printer is Kubota Kenichi. And you're not going to see this very often. This is the only one print we've had carved for us by Yumi-san. Niece. Did I say nephew? In Japanese, it's the same thing, so I don't know. Whatever. Niece. Niece. I don't really realize. It's something like that. I don't know. Whatever. I'm something like this. And Yumi-san did a really, really nice job. And the depth, Jed-san's design, Kubota-san's printing, my God, this just goes around and around and around. They're already trimmed. I don't need to touch those. Next group, who have we got? These need trimming. What's the printer? Oh, another printer. We have here, and another carver. You're going to meet the whole team. Look at this. This one. Hori, it's Zoiwai John-san, who you heard me talk about. The young man who came to us from Hong Kong a few years ago. And the printer here is the mysterious Suri Taro. This is not somebody's real name. This is Suri Taro. And we cannot put his real name on the prints because he is a master printer from somewhere in Tokyo who is moonlighting with us. And if his employer heard about this, it's that bad. You're not allowed to do moonlighting for most places in Tokyo, in Japan. He's done a beautiful, beautiful job. So this is carving and printing. This is masterful. Masterful, masterful. So for the moment, his name is going on the prints as Suri Taro. At the point when he retires from his current company, he will then be open to working for us. I mean, he can work for us openly, and his name will then start to go on the prints. But at the moment, I can't put his name on the prints, and I can't mention it in public. He doesn't care anyway. He's one of those guys, he's a professional printer. He doesn't care about having his name on the prints. So he's not waiting, he's not frustrated by this at all. Should I be saying that with a TV camera? Whatever, everybody knows, it's okay. Just I can't talk about his name, that's all. Working for a competitor, there's no feeling of a competition here, you know. We publish prints, there are other long-established companies also publishing prints, but there's no competition. We're going to get that sale, you're going to get that sale. There's zero competition. It's, at least until recent years, it's a bunch of people on a sinking ship, and there's no competition. The ship is no longer sinking. The woodblock, traditional woodblock ship here in Japan is no longer sinking. And there's no competition. There's more than enough work for everybody. Someone's asking, why don't I trim the top? I'll set that. I'll go through the stack once to do the side, then I'll go through the stack again to do the top, instead of trying to set up another sticker layer here. I'll do the top in a minute. Okay, who's next? This is great. We get a tour of the Ukiyo Heroes today. This is cool. Who printed this one? Oh yeah, this is Kawai-san. we have again, it's another Horiburu, and this is Suri Kawai Atsushi. Oh no, wait a minute. No, it's Chiharu-san. Go in. I thought it says Chiharu-san. Kawai Chiharu. And this must have been a winter job. This was a winter job, and the paper was very, very stiff. She's gone outside. We might see her on the... This is Iwano-san's paper. Everything we've ever published here is Iwano-san's paper. We have not ever sold any prints that are not on Iwano-san's paper. For the past few years, we've been doing the New Year's cards on Sawaki-san's paper, but we don't publish any prints that are not on Iwano-san's paper. Yeah, sorry. She's outside with her camera shooting our camera. I don't know. How's the time? We're okay. 10 minutes to go. Are there demon slayers? No. Did I apprentice? No, I'm self-taught. I came here in 1986. I've never been anybody's apprentice. Back in that time, in the 1980s, there were no such things as apprenticeships available because there was no work for anybody. The thing was dying. In the mid-1980s, the woodblock printmaking, traditional woodblock printmaking, was absolutely on its last legs. And the idea to ask somebody to be their apprentice, just laughable. Laughable, laughable, laughable. I'm self-taught based on a handful of visits with older craftsmen. Just from studying the old prints. It's the vegetable van outside. Maruyasu. It's Yasai no Maruyasu. And he must have parked here, and we've seen this before. He does deliveries all the way up and down and around the neighborhood. It's a vegetable delivery man. It says so in color. Yasai no Maruyasu. Jed's going to complain because this one is wavy. Can't help it. It was a winter job. We had to really increase the sizing. That batch of paper, I remember this. That batch of paper had been weak. We had to really increase the glue in the sizing. And as a result, the paper gets quite brittle. Not brittle, it's, what's the word to use? I don't know. Putty putty. We had no choice. We had no choice. Oh, and the last one. Look at this, look at this, look at this. The last one. And yet another printer. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. We know the picture here. And this again is yet again, it's, where's the name here? It's Horiburu again, and this is Suri Rei-chan. And that's all she wants us to use for her. This is the young Chinese girl who is a partner of Chon-san, the carver we met a few minutes ago. And she doesn't want us to put her full name on here. So we're okay. It's her taste, her choice. right, this is the last one. Let me finish this stack and we'll get on to our show and tell. Halifax. Last time I was in Halifax would have been, oh my God, 1998, I would have been there. I took a trip to England to visit the Victoria and Albert Museum and the British Museum. And as part of the same trip, Sadako and I, we went up to the Lakes District, Windermere and stuff, and then we also stopped in Halifax, where I was born, for a few minutes.いつもこのような仕事じゃないんですが、今日このものをアメリカへ出す予定ですから、もう時間ないですからしょうがないですね。そう。このシリーズすごい人気ですよ。本当にすごい人気。In fact, this print, this is the one print that single-handedly revived the Japanese traditional print culture. All through the post-war period, 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, into the 20th century, it's decaying. Nobody wants these things in Japan. The tourists, it became too expensive. When the Japanese yen climbed in the 1980s, the prints became too expensive, so tourists didn't stop buying them, but tourists really, it became not so popular. And then into the 21st century, it was just dead in the water, completely dead. And this single design, this design from Jed Henry, the American boy, it exploded. It exploded the whole craft again. And I got to emphasize, I got to emphasize this. People think it's me. It's not me. It's Jed's design. A young American boy, Jed Henry, who came up with the idea of doing this, mixing pop culture and the traditional craft. And when he first pitched this idea to me, I said no. I don't want to get in trouble with copyright law and stuff like this. I said no. And he said, no, let's do it. And I said no. He said, let's do it. I said no. He said, let's do it. And finally, what happened was, without me, he started publicizing it. And he sent something to the Japan Times newspaper in Tokyo. I just kept telling him, no. One day I'm sitting in my house, this is 11, 12 years ago. I opened my newspaper and this print, this image, it's not a woodblock print, it was just Jed's drawing from Photoshop. This print was in my newspaper. And he had sent the image to not my newspaper, the newspaper that I read every morning. They printed it. And I opened my newspaper, I choked on my granola. I'm just like, what's going on here? So I call him up. And I realized that there's a thing here, that this is going to be a really popular thing. And also I realized the newspaper is willing to put this in the newspaper. They're not worried about copyright, about Nintendo being angry, whatever. It seems like fair use, fair game. So I said, okay, let's do this. And we started a Kickstarter campaign in 2012, and now there's 21 people working here. Prints are popular all over the world again, just like they were in the old days. And it's all from Jed Henry. All Jed Henry. Okay, we get about 3 or 4 or 5 more, and then let's switch over to our show and tell. This is working really well. Dave, slow down. Don't panic. Don't rush through this. Cut some prints in half. Take it easy here. Hi. Nintendo, no, Nintendo has never, ever contacted us. We've had this conversation here on the stream many times. There's two aspects to this sort of stuff. There's a legal aspect and a moral aspect. You can sometimes be in the letter of the law, but you're still doing something that you shouldn't be doing. In this case, we apparently are okay on the legal aspect. We seem to slide within fair use. The moral aspect, are we hurting Nintendo? Should I not be doing this? And I don't believe so at all. I think we are not only are we not hurting them, we're doing nothing but help their brand. Like, they don't need our help, obviously, a global company like this. But I don't think we are hurting them in any way whatsoever. We don't take revenue away from them. We don't deprecate their characters. Unless I'm fooling myself, I don't think in any way we are hurting them. And in fact, for sure, we have brought back. Our customers are not so much little kids, 15-year-old kids playing Mario. Our customers are 50-year-old people who played it when they were a kid, who have now come back to the Nintendo world through our work. Okay, let's do this. This is the last one. Let's move on. Excuse me. Drop this stack on the floor, why don't I? This is just over 2 million yen. When's the last time you had $20,000 worth of paper in your hand? Someone's asking, do we keep the paper slices? Yes, we do. It turns out that the papermaker, Iwano-san the papermaker, we at some point years ago, I kept this sort of stuff, and I sent him back a whole bag full of this stuff, thinking that he could reuse this in making new paper. He can't, because the cut-off paper slices have been sized, and also the fibers have been cut really short. So he does not want this. But I know that it is useful for some people, amateur paper makers, people making paper for their New Year's cards or stuff like this. We have now bags and bags and big bags full of this, because it's been about 10 years since we found somebody who needs it. We have mountains of this. There used to be an old guy in Ome near where I live who took it from me to make his, as I said, to make his New Year's cards, but he passed away years ago. Okay, now. It's 9:15, it's time for show and tell. And today's show and tell is a big box, and I don't quite know how to do this. Let's try this. I think the real prints inside are not so big. Tell you what, let's try this. I'm going to move the camera for a minute. I'm going to turn the camera around, get out of here, and I'm going to open the box somewhere else, and then I'll bring it back here to the bench. So I can't talk to the chat for a few minutes. You guys take care of yourself, and things might get a bit wonky for a minute here. Anyway, we'll do what we can do. I'll be back here at the desk in a minute. Let's put some lights on. Okay, let's try this. Now turn the camera around here. Go get a knife. And then if you keep an eye over there, you can see what the view is.
いや
You see the pattern? 投げると必ず壊れますよ。なんだ。There we go. Okay, I can bring this back there. This is small enough now. よいしょ。Did you see the message written on the outside of the box? 何？投げると必ず壊れます。でしょ？投げる？投げる？何？ Toss it. The message in Japanese on the box, she had put, and she said, if you toss this around, absolutely it'll get broken. Kanarazu kawaremasu. If you toss it around, absolutely it'll get broken. I don't actually think so, but whatever. Recycle chance, I don't know. I want to recycle the stuff, but there's no way. Yeah, the NHK lady is doing the camera work for us. Are you expensive? 高いですか? Cameraman. 高くなりますか? Go, man. This このものはヤフオクですね。どこから届いたんですか？1週間どこからちょっと覚えてない。箱にあったんですけど。まあ国内ですね。ヤフオク。よくあるケース年の方が古い版画持ってるんですけど、じいちゃんがいつか亡くなりますから息子さんか孫ちゃんか見て何ですか？いらない。だけどヤフオクで出す。Okay, sorry about this. Let's get to the inside here. The packaging, my God, this is Japan. Just keeps going, just keeps going. 日本、みんな大好きでしょ、パッケージング。まあ、包む心配もありますし、Okay, let's have a look. I'm not quite sure exactly what we have here. I believe it dates to the late Meiji or Taisho era period. Other way around. Okay, there's our view. Could have been junk, it could have been treasure. It is treasure. Treasure, treasure, treasure. Oh my God. Can you read it? 東海道53月 I'm stuck here. これ読めないでしょ。読めますか？わかんない。僕もわかんない。 We have a Tokaido set, and it's a Tokaido set to die for. Again, I'm just seeing it now here for the first time. This is, as I said before, it could be late Meiji, it could be Taisho. There's no way this is Showa. The carving and printing are clean. There's only the tiniest bit of foxing. Let's have a look at this. This is to die for. This is my best, even before I can see. This is now my #1 Tokaido set. I really wish I would have had this. ちょっとじゃあズームインできますか？はい。逆ですね。私もいつも逆ですから。うん。も
っと寄りますか？
あ、だけど kids coming close. そう、もっと。はい、okay, stop. Okay, somewhere there. The colors are smooth, the carving is clean, the gradation is nicely done, registration is perfect, and there's no foxing. This is the best Tokaido set we have got. Oh my God. I had to pay for this. I was not the only person bidding on this. I had to pay and pay some more and pay some more. I didn't pay 4 figures, I paid 3 figures, but it's worth it. Every penny, it's worth it. Let's flip through some pages. Okay, just to zoom out. ちょっとページをめくりましょう。Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, the rich color. Look at the richness of this color. Can we get around here maybe? This is how it's supposed to be done. Beautiful, beautiful, rich, deep color. The washi is soft. The color has gone sinking into it. The gradation is spotless. There's no speckles in it. Look at this. Registration is perfect. I would have paid, happily, I would have paid 4 or 5 times as much for this. This is magnificent. Thank you. Good, look, she's doing this. Woo! Oh, yeah, okay. Street cam. So let's turn off. Yes, thank you. Yep, good idea. Okay. Yes, thank you. All right, let me turn a few more pages. There's 57 prints here. We can't see them all, but let's have a look at a few more. もう全部見えないんですが、とりあえず数枚ちょっと見てみましょう。This is just to die for. Oh my God, this is to die for. This way? Right. Now when I said there's 50, I think there's 55 prints. It's 53 stations of the Tokaido, but there are 55 prints in the set itself when you count the starting and ending stage. And then this company, they've put in a print at the beginning there with the title page, and I think there's one at the end. So I believe there are 57 actual physical prints here. This is the bargain of the century. Absolutely, this is the bargain. Here we go. They want to see this one. He is mounting. It's the revised version. He is mounting. Very good. Who got that? Kantar got that. Did you? Somebody was guessing. He is mounting. But look at these colors. Oh. Let me see if I can find the auction page. Hang on a sec. ちょっと pan around. 僕ちょっと別のところ見 Let me find the auction here. Where are we? ちょっと待ってください. Auction. I've had this here a while, so here we go. Okay, I found the auction page. Here's the link. Okay, there we go. Good. We have got to get these into the collection as soon as possible. Absolutely, we've got to get this into the collection. This is a good one. Oiso, the rain. What a steal. I tell you, this is the bargain of the century. When I when I'm buying this stuff sometimes on auctions, there's a what do you call competition. I want to keep some of these things, and Watanabe-san of course wants to sell some of these things in the shop. And a normal Tokaido set costs us, a good Tokaido set from like Takamizawa or something, costs us nearly 4 figures anyway. We spend about $1,000 typically to get a good Tokaido set, a reproduction set, into the shop here. And she then preps it and mixes and matches and takes out bad ones and puts good ones and gets it into the flea market. But typically for us, our cost runs about $1,000 for a good prime set. So for me, for this one, to get a set like this at half of our typical buy-in, it's free. It's just, for me, this is free. And there's no way this is for sale, period. Sorry guys, over my dead body. And literally, over my dead body, this is going into the market. And look at this, we have our famous white stone. Not white. Wakarimasu ka? Hakone desho? これ人間ですね。昔の箱根は多分大変でしたよ。そう、都会の一番厳しいところみたいですね。そう。そう。で今はもう楽ですが、昔はもう海の方は通れなかったし、一番厳しかったよ。朝行こうかな。This one's nice. Just I am amazed at the quality of this. Just amazed. The registration is pinpoint. Every color is as rich and deep as possible. The gradations are just, look at the smoothness of this. Look at this. It's incredible. Look at this. She's going to follow me. Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, look at the camera work here. They're saying, hire her. You want a job? 仕事欲しいですか? I doubt we can match her salary at NHK. I don't know. 別の会社ですか? NHK じゃないですね。番組制作会社の社員ですか? とか、はい。So the lady doesn't actually work for NHK, of course. A large company like that uses subcontractors for all of these jobs. So she works for a production company that makes video for anybody, you know. Maybe their company could work for us, making a video sometimes. Who knows, whatever. Just page after page after page with no problems. Beautiful stuff, no foxing. Oh, Kambara is nice as well. Look at this. Can we see it? Which way? Go ahead, zoom around, yeah. どこでもいいんですが、so the gradations are perfectly smooth. Look at this. Oh, we don't see this these days. Nobody takes the trouble to do this. This is so difficult to do an angled gradation. If you look on the net, other versions of this Kambata print, nobody bothers to do this. Nobody. They just rub it at the bottom or rub it sideways or something. That corner is one of the most difficult things in our entire catalog. So difficult. I don't know when these were made. People are asking, again, as I said, it's late Meiji or Taisho. So 100, if I had to pinpoint, I'd say 110 years old or 105 years old, the manufacture of this set. The designs go back to the 1840s, of course. This set would have been made, as I said, about 110 years ago. And I believe, and I don't really know yet, I'm going to start digging into the research of this. I believe this set was printed in Osaka. I don't think this was made in Tokyo. I'll bring you more detail later when I know about this. We're going to see this again. I'm going to bring you back to this set later when I learn more about it. But I believe this was printed in Osaka by an Osaka company. Remember, we've got this thing we talk about all the time. Tokyo printing was ukiyo-e, Osaka printing was white, Gofun and stuff like that. The Osaka craftsmen were just as good as anybody. The Kamigata prints that we saw before, magnificently carved and printed. Look at the depth of this thing. This is insane. This is insane. This box has been sitting by my bench here ever since I received it after the auction. What was the date on that auction? The date was January 15th. I won it, and it came here a couple of days later, and the box has been sitting by my desk ever since then. This has become officially now Mokuhankan's collections, one of the top 10 in our collection. Absolutely. Look at the gradation. Again, you never see this. Compare with other versions. You never see this. Gradations on the rocks to make them look like rocks. This is classic stuff. And everything, pinpoint registration. Everywhere. Just take any random line. It's pinpoint registration. Every single line on every one of these prints we've seen so far. Someone saying, who made this? I don't know yet. I will report back to you when I learn, if I learn. I believe it was made in Osaka. At the moment, that's all I know about it. Let's turn. Not all the prints in this series are as visually interesting as others. There's lots of river crossings. And I guess Hiroshige must have struggled to find a way to make some of these interesting. For me, I don't much care about that. All I care about is the beautiful quality of this thing. No, classic, classic, classic. Oh, let's look at this side. This paper interleaving too, this is all brand new stuff. I know the person who sold this to me obviously has realized that because of the old prints, face to face is not good. She's taken out old interleaving and put something new inside, I think. Yeah, this is the Mariko Tea House, the place that's still there. They have a website. This tea house still has a website. いや、どうぞどうぞ、もちろん、自分のもちろん、もちろん、もちろん、どうぞどうぞ、もういいです。もちろん。これ priority でしょ。she abandoned her own camera. She wants to shoot some of this. もう絶対やってください。So she's going to leave my camera alone for a while now. She's got to shoot some of her own. So the tea house is still there. This is the Mariko one. I don't have a link for it right now, but this place is still there. They have an English website, and they still sell their famous their famous food. This time go. There go my tools, whatever. Can't be helped. It's okay, it's okay. Can't be helped. Some of the ones, you know, they're obviously, this is not all great art. As I said, the river crossings are perhaps not the ones that are really interesting. But there's always interesting things to see, even in the ones like this. Can we zoom in? We've got this. This is a fun one. This is one of my funnest parts of the Tokaido. We've got guys here. What are they doing? It looks like there's a sumo match about to face off. And no, it's not, of course. What it is when you pay for crossing the river, you can pay to go like this. You can pay a really expensive way. You go in your kago with 20 people. This is a daimyo maybe, or someone like this. Or you can pay a couple of guys to carry you and a buddy. So they've hired 4 people. But if you don't have a budget, you get a one-man job. And right here, you go on somebody's shoulders. And that's what they're mounting. The 2 travelers are standing up. The other guys are going between their legs, and they're going to stand up, and he's going to carry him on his shoulders. So this is not a sumo match. This is 2 people mounting up to carry across. All the different ways to get across the river, depending on the budget you have for this. And these people, they live in the nearby village, and this is how they make a living, of course, all year long. Travelers come down this road, and all day long, these people are waiting there and give me a buck or $2 or $5 or $20, whatever the equivalents were, and you paid to get across. And there were more than a dozen river crossings. So if you were going down the Tokaido to the other end, this was expensive. In a couple of places only, there were bridges. Most rivers, there were no bridges because, so we are told, the government didn't allow them to be built. The government wanted a transportation route to get around the country, but they were paranoid about being attacked by groups from different parts of the country. So what they were afraid of was that if there were bridges all the way along, an attack could be planned in some end of the country, and within days they could be attacking Edo. So the deal was no bridges, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't possible for any of the regional leaders to put an army together and march on Tokyo, march on Edo. So it was a defensive strategy by the government to have no bridges. There were rules about what kind of wheels could be done, and I've heard different stories about this. The no wheeled vehicles rule, it might have been the same thing to avoid guns and stuff being brought, but also it could have been for maintenance. Wheeled traffic it's on dirt roads. There's no concrete here, so wheeled traffic would have been terrible for maintenance, and by keeping it to people and a few pack horses only, it becomes maintainable. The Tokaido is a hugely interesting part of Japanese history, and there really isn't much information in English about it. There's dozens of books. Every bookstore in Japan has a shelf of books about Tokaido, Tokaido culture, Tokaido history. It's a missed opportunity. There's a room for a glorious, interesting book to be written about the Tokaido. I'm kind of busy, so it isn't going to be me, but there's room for it. Have I checked out the Tokaido? Of course, I've walked that thing a couple of times back and forth. I've walked that at night under a full moon. It's fabulous, the Tokaido in Hakone. It's absolutely fabulous. I've been back and forth over that a few times. Sadako and she surprised me. We've talked about this on the stream before. Sadako surprised me one time. Let's take a weekend break. She rented she booked a hotel for me in Hakone. This is like 15, 20 years ago. And we went in from the front door and I didn't get it, but we were in our room that evening and she said, something I got to show you. We put our slippers on and go into the little garden. There's a little garden room there. And at the back of the garden, there's a gate. And she points to the gate and says, I thought you'd like this. And the gate says, the old Tokaido Road. And our hotel room with its garden backed on to the old Tokaido. And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? She says, let's go. And we put our little clogs on, and the gate went out onto the Tokaido Road. And there we are at like 11 o'clock at night, standing on these cobblestones. And our hotel room is right there with a hot bath, and we're standing on the old Tokaido. I mean, just give me a break. Incredible, incredible. Sorry, I'm sitting here talking too much and not showing prints. I could barely sleep. I could just barely sleep that night. You just lie there, and you can hear the footsteps, you know. You can hear the footsteps. There goes Hiroshige. There goes some Tokugawa Ieyasu. And we were literally 2 or 3 meters from the old road. I wrote about this. It's one of the stories a week. If you look on the A Story a Week website, look up the word Tokaido. It's in there. This is just insane. I'm turning pages here just like one after the other, and every one of these prints, I could sit here and look at this for hours, and I'm just flipping pages. This is insane. The depth of the gradation, the quality of the paper. The other thing about this is the embarrassing side of this, you know. The embarrassing side of this. Why don't I make prints that are this beautiful? We're trying. And I have to say we are really severely hamstrung by the materials. I'm sorry, you know, there's this deal, a poor craftsman blames his tools, but it's possible now that we've sort of reached the maximum quality level we can with the paper and wood that we have available to us. The paper here is rich and soft. The pigments would just soak into it. The wood must have been gorgeously flat, smooth, and hard. This is the famous one, the other aspect of staying on the Tokaido. This is an inside view of one of the inns. The gentleman here, his face is funny because he's blind. He's a masseur. This was very, very common. The lady is bringing 2 dinner trays. The guy's coming back from the bath. And this is a masseur who will be waiting to do the massage. That's why his face is drawn in a kind of a funny way. And just above his head, there's an Easter egg. Just right here, there's a little cloth hanging up on the wall, and the pattern on the cloth is Hiroshige. It's a katakana hi, and it's Hiroshige. And he has hidden his name as an Easter egg inside the print. I mean, no big deal, just a tiny joke, but there it is. That's Hiroshige's, one of Hiroshige's seal designs. And then over on the other side here, down the hallway, look at this, she's going to follow my finger. Woo! We have in the back room the ladies who will be providing entertainment. The ladies are getting ready. So up the front we have dinner coming and a massage, and then the ladies are waiting to step in and take care of work for the rest of the evening. And this was the deal, traveling down to Tokaido, whatever you could afford, or whatever kind of entertainment you wanted, whatever. Perhaps nothing different from nowadays, I don't know, no idea. And this is one of the few bridges that were there. This is Okazaki. And I guess perhaps, again, I don't know the story. There was a castle. It was a castle town. And perhaps the river here was just too big and too wide and too dangerous to be crossing all the time on foot. I don't know the story. Why a bridge was allowed here and not at other places, I don't know. But look at the color here. Just look at this. It looks black. If I just showed you that little zone there, it would be black. It's blue. This is Prussian blue, the color that this series and the work of the 1840s is famous for. And look at the depth here. How did they preserve this? Where has this thing been living for the past 100 years? I'm astonished. I don't know. This is a time machine. Somebody has given Dave a present here. They've gone back in time, grabbed this thing, and brought it to me as a present. So if somebody's guessing in a nitrogen atmosphere or something, I don't have any idea how this could be preserved so well. This is just too much. Okay, we're just about halfway down the highway. What we'll do is this. Let me look. I do want to come back to this. So let's leave it off here on this one. Give me a chance to do a bit of research. I will try and figure out who made this, when this was made. I'll try and get some more detail about this. And we'll come back and look at the rest of this and look at some more. And also, I've got a big conundrum here. What to do? Do I leave these prints inside this folder or take them out? What I would normally do is I would look at this backing paper and think, this is pulpy paper, this is not so healthy, I would like to take the prints out. But we have 100 years of experiment going on here that says these things do seem to be okay. So I am going to be in no hurry at all to fool around with this. I will keep the interleaving sheets in. I'm just going to leave this album exactly as it is. And it could be that the paper they're on is a nice, good, it doesn't feel like washi, I don't know. Anyway, it's made it so far without my help. We will leave it as it is for a while. Okay, that will do us. We've come very, very late. Sorry, but just this has been just too much, too exciting, too much to show. Let's do our last little thing. Let's put the outside camera up just for 1 second as we leave off here. And today's Monday morning. I'm going to see you now 3 days from now, Thursday morning. And almost certainly Thursday's work will finally, Surfing USA. We're going to be doing some tracing work for the next couple of weeks. And then I will be carving. We are finally up and running on my next personal job. So okay, I think we have it there. Thanks very much for joining in. See you next time. Oh, and this, Nani. NHK lady goodbye とかそのような挨拶も Do you want to come say goodbye? Just let me poke it up here. There you go.
Bye.
Okay, thanks. She's been really helpful. That was so cool. もう本当に thank you very much. That was so cool. Thank you for helping. Okay, goodbye for now. See you next time. I'll let you know about the broadcast or whatever. We'll let you know when I learn more. Okay, bye bye. And there's a button that says stop streaming.